Hi there, Brianne here, aka the People Engineer. Have you ever nerded out on the how it's made videos or seeing any kind of Bill Nye the Science Guy where they go behind the scenes as to how something's made or built or what the end result of something so small or minute looks like? Today I will share with you of where engineering can take you, and in particularly where it's taken me the past 5 years after graduation and overall kind of 8 years of industry, and I've been in multiple different industries within just that time span, less than a decade. So first and foremost, I always thought I wanted to be a design engineer. I could not draw stick people to save my life, but the fact that I took a drafting class, which my mom highly encouraged me to do so before taking wood or shop or auto that I was really interested in taking in high school, it was just phenomenal and mind-boggling that I could use these tools like a T-square or scale, triangles, and be able to actually draw a three-dimensional isometric view of something, and you could actually understand it was depth. I could explain to you what, an object or a creation I had in my head and put it out on paper, because again, I couldn't draw even stick people to save my life. So the more I kind of started having that opportunity to try and learn 3D modeling softwares, AutoCAD, 2D drawings, got me really excited to where my second internship, I actually had the opportunity to work for the United States Army doing helicopter repairs. Obviously, I didn't just go out in the field and climb on choppers right out the bat. I had to learn the basics, what and how the different standard of operations were used. And the more I kind of got the standardization and the foundation, the more they kind of let me go out, try different opportunities of different projects for new implementations, did it again a second year, and really got to lead all the interns that summer because I had that experience behind me. And the more I started doing that, I had another internship opportunity to do pressure vessel design. Again, jumping into a whole new industry, but the fact that there's only 2 glass line pressure vessel company manufacturers in the world. And so you think of what actually needs to be glass lined. Well, these pressure vessels, is a big cooker essentially, and to have it glass lined really protects the product inside, whether that chemical combustion is happening. So that's usually our pharmaceuticals. Any kind of medicine you take, obviously you don't want rust and steel and whatever you're putting into your body. And so that was really cool. I saw the application every day. But the more I did it, the more I thought, there's no way I can sit at a screen for that long and not be involved. I was getting tired. It was kind of boring to look up different valves and what fit when and where and how many limited options it was, to the point where I said, well, let me try something super technical in a manufacturing world, since I knew that was what I was interested in. So I jumped into tooling engineering and international aerospace manufacturing. And that was just super cool, totally out of the blue. So grateful I had that opportunity, because even though I was not very privy, and again, thermo and heat transfer, kicked me in the butt so many times, to be able to go back and understand thermoforming and how it worked and how it all played into all the different parts and the quality of what we actually delivered and the end product made a huge difference, because I was working with tool makers who had been doing their job for decades, 20, 30, 40 years, and I got to learn from them and learn how the machines work, how do you improve CNC machinery, the processes of what they do and how they check their work, to the point where I had the opportunity to then jump into liaison engineering, which is essentially firefighting. I then started supporting the assembly lines of the sub-assemblies and anything that went wrong at the very end that kept us from actually delivering the seats. I would have to go back all the way from product planning to design engineering to any kind of sub-assembly, the substructure, obviously the tooling, and anything that happened from the beginning of the entire process to the end of actually shipping it out in a box and sending it to the aircraft it belonged on. I had to know that entire process. So it really gave me an idea of the overarching business as a whole and how to move forward from that. So then I had the opportunity to even pitch myself to the sales and marketing group saying, hey, we need a technical expert. We need to be able to go out there and not just have a business mindset, but know if you're going to change something, that'll change $175,000 worth of tooling. And again, because of my experience, I was the only person that was interested in both of those, tying those worlds together. So even having that chance to support, again, marketing and sales and being that technical half person, if you will, I really got to have the chance to travel the world. I had dreamed of having a job that would pay me to go fly across the globe, walk aircraft, deal with customers. And my first trip was to Ethiopia, which I would have never dreamed to have gone. Then to Nigeria. Then I had the opportunity to go to Dubai. I was going to countries like Turkmenistan and Uzbekistan. When I told people that, they would laugh and say, that's not a real place. And so it was just a really, I mean, just amazing opportunity, amazing experience to not only experience the cultures, but the business aspect, what they were needing, how they were needing it. So I was in a very sales and marketing, role. I was selling, I was providing aftermarket support, customer service, warranty, dealing with any kind of new development after the fact. To after that role now into as an advanced manufacturing engineering in the automotive industry, again, is essentially tying everything that I've done up until this point, tying it all together. I have to know the standard of processes. I have to know the work instructions, what works, how it works, who's involved, who it will impact. And so then I'm essentially the plant protector for new product development. Any type of new design, new innovation that's coming in and going to be involved in our industry, I now have to tie those two worlds together. And so it's a lot of business proposals. I have to be able to show the ROI, what's it worth, the investment, to tie it all together and move it forward. So it's a lot of fun. Again, having so many different aspects and perspectives, especially since just throughout the 8 years of my career, including internships and 5 years after graduation, really gives me that chance to be able to enjoy the limitless opportunities that engineering provides. I would like to ask or even challenge, could you see yourself in any of these roles? Maybe you do some of this already today and you didn't know that that was actually an engineering skill or a trait that you could utilize in the industry. I remember looking at a chair and simply thinking, there's this big metal piece and then a plastic attached to it, and it's all being held together by a bunch of buttons. And obviously I knew it didn't just grow off a tree like that, right? There's metal and then a plastic piece, and thinking that these little buttons held it all together, I was absolutely fascinated. Like, how does that work and where does this happen? And what if a button is missing, and how many buttons miss until, like, you know, the chair doesn't hold you anymore? So it's those type of things where, again, if you just look around you, there's so many different applications of engineering, to even now, again, your car, we don't think about it, or even a light switch, we don't think about it. You jump in your car and get on the road that someone had to design and develop at one point or another, to even an aircraft, an airplane. I still to this day get absolutely fascinated when I climb into this massive machine that goes up into the air and carries me for hours on end. And engineering truly makes the impossible possible. So again, day 2 of celebrating Engineers Week. Thank you all for joining. Looking forward to seeing you in the next video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll check you later. Bye-bye.